What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I am the co-founder of FLOWRISH Lashes. So in today's video, if you have seen my last video or you haven't seen my last video, I did a video all about dimension. So picking the right dimension and understanding the dimension when it comes to picking the variations of your lashes. So this video, as promised, is going to be all about lash curls, how to understand them, what curls there are, what do they do, and why do you need to know what different curls there are. Okay, so we are gonna keep this video short, to the point, nice, short, and sweet. First things first, there are a few curls that you wanna know of. Also, something I wanna mention before I jump into it, understanding the fact that each box will have the curl on there, and the curl is always going to be a letter. There's gonna be two numbers on there. It's gonna be a decimal number, and then a millimeter number, and then you're gonna have a letter. So your letter is always going to be your curl, in case you didn't know. Jumping into the curls that there are. Okay, so there are a few different curls. The first curl that we can go through, honestly, there's some curls that I personally don't even know, but we're gonna go through the main curls and the curls that you are gonna come across more often and the curls that you should know or should have in your cart on a regular basis, because that's also a thing too. I noticed a lot of lash artists only carry certain curls, and if that's your choice, if that's what most of your clientele is asking for, sure, but you definitely want to know all the curls and understand what they do. So let's go to the first one. So we're gonna start with J. So a J curl is literally the most natural curl you can get. It is the most like a natural curl that you have. What I'm trying to say is it mimics the natural curl more than any other extension that you can find in terms of a different type of curl. So a J is usually going to be the most natural look. It's going to provide the most natural look. To be quite honest, it's not commonly used. The issue with the J curl is that when you're applying the lashes, yeah, you might see it on the top view, but you might not see it when the client opens their eye. Usually when their client opens your eye and there's J on there, you don't necessarily see any difference at all. If anything, it may darken the lash line a little bit, but you won't see anything kind of popping up or elongating or anything like that, just because it's so straight, it's not showing when your client opens their eyes. Okay, next curl is a B curl. So a B curl is gonna be an elevated natural curl. So it's gonna be a very natural curl. To be honest, I got certified and I was given B curls in my kit, and I didn't understand why my sets weren't coming out good, in the sense that when my clients would open their eyes, I didn't see anything and they didn't see anything, and they were sitting there for like 4 hours. But it's because a B curl is also extremely natural. So sometimes it's going to be very difficult to see a B curl as well. So same thing, it'll just kind of darken the lash line a little bit. You might see something, but it's still not going to be much of a difference. But one thing I do want to note is that J curl and B curl are amazing for bottom lashes. Always recommend J curl and B curl for bottom lashes. We even sell those as bottom lashes because they are much easier to work with, and you never want your bottom lashes to be very curly. You want them to have a much more natural curl, so it looks natural and much more wispy and all that good stuff. So J and B are amazing for bottom lashes. Okay, so now going on to the fun curls. These are the curls that are asked for more often. So I'm gonna run through them. You have your C, your CC, your D, and your DD. So let's break them down a little bit. But if you've ever heard of these curls, these are the curls that you are potentially going to get asked for, and if your client isn't sure what they want, it's usually in that range. Now, there are a few factors that are going to determine whether you use a C or a D, but let's kind of go through which one's which. Let's start with a C. So a C curl is basically a natural curl in the sense that it's not very, very curly, but it is elevated in the sense that you will see it 100%, you will see it over a B curl. I personally love a C curl because it's not extremely kinked, it's not extremely curly. It has a really soft, flirty, kind of sultry look to it. I highly recommend C curls when you're doing cat eyes because it does give that super wispy, soft, flirty, like I said, sultry kind of look to it. And me personally, I have very curly natural lashes, so I don't like when I get a D put on me because it curls my natural lashes too much. That being said, a C curl is amazing for people who have naturally curly lashes, so that way their D curls are not curling into their eyelids, because that's what we don't want, and that's what happens to me. So a C curl is amazing for two clients. Clients that have curlier lashes that are naturally curled upwards, and clients that are looking for a much more wispy, soft kind of set. Just really to darken the lash line and give like a really nice soft look. I'll show a picture here as well of what a C curl would look like, but it has such a really, really pretty look to it. Personally, I love it. You can always use it for in between sets, like if you're using a D and a C. Sometimes a C can soften up a D set if the client finds it's too dramatic, but a C curl is such a cat eye, wispy, sultry, flirty type of look. Now, before I go into a CC, let's go into a D. So a D curl will be your most curly lash. It'll be the most dramatic lash. It'll be the most prominent lash that you can put on. And of course, it will be the most elevating. So if you have a client that has really downward lashes or straight lashes, and you put a D on them, it will completely lift the lashes up and it will completely open up the eyes because you're really elevating that natural lash curl or that natural lash pattern. So a D is gonna be the most dramatic. Sometimes even if you're using a classic set or even a hybrid set and your client feels like it's not dramatic enough but they don't want to add too much volume, you can always use a D curl because that will give it its own drama in its own way without having to add too much density to the lash or without having to make it too dark and too dramatic in that sense. The curl itself is its own drama. So a D curl is gonna be the most curled, it's gonna show the most, and it's gonna have the most impact on your client's eyes. No matter what type of natural lash they have, they will see it for sure. Sometimes I like to mix up my C's and D's. I just feel like it can really help give texture to a set. It really does give a super texturized, very natural, kind of very, not so, the word I'm looking for is very straight and very uniform. So some clients don't like that uniform look. So you can always use the curls to kind of mix up the set and give it a bit more character to it. So that's really, really great when you're working with both curls, and why I also recommend having both curls in your cart. Okay, so then let's go to a CC and a DD. So a CC curl or C+, also known as a C+ or a D+, these are just elevated C's and D's. So a CC is an elevated C. So it's just a curl right in between a C and a D. It's exactly what you think it is. It's not quite a D and it's not quite a C. It's somewhere in the middle of that. And same thing with a DD, because a DD is definitely much more dramatic. A D is much more dramatic. A DD is extremely curly. This is a lash that is so curled, you definitely wouldn't use this on everybody. I have specific clients that actually ask for a DD because they have maybe downward lashes, sometimes, or downward eyes. Sometimes if a client's eyes are shaped downward, clients like a DD at the outer corners, because if the lashes start to grow out, not even a lot, but if they just start to grow out a couple days within, sometimes a D, or definitely a C, but sometimes even a D, can make the eyes look a little droopy. So some clients prefer a DD on the outer corners to really lift the lash line, and even when they start to grow out, they still look lifted and elevated without it looking too heavy on the outer corners. Again, I have a couple clients. I'm gonna post a client here. She is super diehard with her DDs, and at first I thought it was gonna be too curly for her, but it actually suits her eyes well, and even her natural lashes aren't very curly. They're somewhat straight, and they hold really, really well, and they really do lift the corners of her eyes, and she usually gets somewhere between a kitten eye and like a cat eye, but nothing too extremely shaped. It really just does lift the eyelid. But also note that she gets really dramatic lashes, and like I said, with the D curl, it's more dramatic, so you know a DD is also going to be dramatic, if not 10 times more dramatic. So that's something to keep in mind, but for kind of just to kind of keep in the back of your mind as well. So when I was saying that my lashes are very curly and I don't like to put D's on my lashes because I feel like they get really, really curly, so I use C's. To me, when I put a D on my eyes, it looks like a DD to me because it's just so curled. So that's why it's so important to understand having all these curls is needed, because every single client is different and their needs are different, and you want to make sure that you can cater to every client, and not everyone is going to have the same lashes. In fact, everyone has different lashes. So it's going to be really difficult to have one curl and be able to cater to every single client. Now, if you're known for a specific type of lash that's really different, let's say you're known for really wispy cat eye looks, then yeah, you probably do more C's, but you are gonna have a client that is maybe gonna achieve that same look, but they need an actual D. So I never recommend just having one curl. Always make sure you have at least a C and a D so you can cater to both clients or all types of clients that need the extra lift or want the extra lift or just need something to correct the shape of their eye, because it's super important when you're dealing with curls that you're picking the right curls that's actually going to correct the client's eyes. So when we're dealing with mapping, we're dealing with length, we're dealing with anything like that, the idea is to not just give the client the look that they want. Of course, that's the goal, is to give your client the set that they want, but it's also to make sure that you're elevating the eye shape and making sure that if there's anything wrong, not wrong, but like if there's anything that the client doesn't like about their eyes, you're actually elevating that and correcting it. So for instance, if your client has downward eyes, you would do a specific set that would then lift the eyes up, and you would never go all the way to the end. So let's say your client has a really long lash line and they're downward eyes. If you go all the way to the end of the lash line, what's gonna happen is you're gonna make the end of the lash line over heavy, and it's gonna droop the eyes and make the downward eyes more noticeable. But if you stop a little further before the lash line and use a shorter curl or shorter lash and a curlier lash, you're gonna lift the lash line. So those are the things that you wanna know when you're dealing with curls to help when you're trying to accentuate a certain eye shape or correct a certain eye shape. Okay, then these are the most common curls. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this video simple and to the point. I don't wanna overwhelm you guys with a bunch of information, but this is the basics. This is the basics when it comes to understanding the curls, understanding what they do, and understanding how to use them. There's also other specialty curls that I can go into, but let me know if you guys want a video specifically on specialty curls, and I will do a video on that, because there are definitely things to know about when it comes to hooded eyes, deep set eyes. There's different things like that. If you guys want a video on that, let me know, comment down below. Okay, so that is it on curls. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will be back with something new next time. Bye.